Greetings, this is Ty Brown, and welcome to the Business of Creativity podcast, the unofficial podcast of the Graziadio School of Business. I am joined today by Ece Er Aydin. Ece is a 2018 Graziadio full-time MBA graduate, and she is also the founder of Olizzi, which is an olive oil company. Greetings, Ece. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, thank you for inviting me.
I'm glad you're on today. Now, you are from Turkey, and you have a background in product management in the food industry, and you started an olive oil company. I have two questions right off the bat. The first one is why olive oil? And the second one is, what does it mean to own an olive oil company? So tell us why olive oil was the product of choice when you started your own business.
Of course. So olive oil has been around for thousands of years, and it's the ultimate superfood that people have been using in their diets for ages. That's why I decided to get into this business. And as you know, I'm from Turkey, and Turkey is among the biggest producers in the world. However, Turkish producers have underestimated the value of marketing. That's why Turkey is not recognized as an olive oil country worldwide. But I know that we have a big potential. That's why I decided to start my olive oil business. And I'm a food enthusiast, and I know how important olive oil is in everyone's diet. It's the ultimate oil to use. It's the ultimate fat to use for a healthy diet. That's why I decided to start my own olive oil business.
Yeah, which is excellent, right? So it's healthy, and you are from a country where it's sourced, and there's a lot of it out there. And
Yes.
then you also saw a problem that you can solve, which was you can probably market it better than what's currently being done in Turkey. Tell us why. Yeah,
Exactly.
tell us about that, the prospect. I'm going to ask you about your time at Pepperdine in a little bit, but I want to know about being the founder of what I think now is an international olive oil company. Tell us a little bit about that, just what that means to you. How do you operate? Like, is your brain always thinking globally? How can I do things in Japan and United States? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, my pleasure. So Olizzi started as an international olive oil business because I founded the business when I was living in Los Angeles and still studying at Pepperdine. I started the business, and my only goal was to sell in the States and prepare my product in Turkey and sell in the States. However, things turned out differently, and I came back to Turkey, to my hometown, and I started to see the suppliers, do the packaging, do all the branding, and I decided to sell in Turkey as well. Turkey is a saturated market for olive oil. However, USA is not. And at first, I didn't aim at selling in Turkey, but then I decided to do so because the COVID situation kicked in. And I said, okay, I have my olive oil, and right now it's not that easy to ship internationally. It's getting too much time to get things done. So let's start selling in Turkey. At least I'll learn something. And it was the best decision I did. So I started to sell in Turkey first, although that was not the plan. And by the end of 2020, I started to sell in the United States as well. And in 2021, we started to sell in Japan. And it was one of the markets that I was targeting since the beginning. So right now we're operating in 3 markets and looking forward to expand more.
Man, that's exciting. So Turkey, United States, and Japan. And is Japan are they a big market for olive oil?
Yeah, they are a big potential because in Japan it's easier to sell high quality olive oil compared to any other countries because
Oh,
they
really?
value good food.
Okay. Other countries don't value good food. That's
The others do, but my product, I'm speaking generally. So if you check out Olizzi, we are a premium olive oil company, and we only carry very good high quality products which are award winners. And when it comes to such a product, it's not easy to market and sell to any supermarket
right.
or any country or any market. Japan has a bigger potential for premium olive oils. That's why I wanted to target since the beginning. And I'm so happy that we are able to sell in Japan as well.
Which is excellent. Thinking about your time at Pepperdine, now, I imagine this is an assumption, and I'm sure you'll correct me if I'm wrong. that you're a product of Dr. Larry Cox's entrepreneurship, diverge, converge type bit solve create come up with a problem, solve a problem, brainstorming, and then you come up with a business, and this is the outgrowth of that entrepreneurship program. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, you're totally right. So Dr. Cox's class helped me a lot to come up with a problem. Not to come up with a problem actually, because all the ideas emerge from a problem. You need to invent something because you have a problem. So first you need to picture the problem, and then you first you diverge. You think of all the aspects, and then you reframe the problem and say, how might I solve this problem? To yourself, and come up with many other ideas that you didn't think of, and then you imagine the solutions and come up with an idea that's not easy to find out unless you do and you go through such a creative problem solving process. um, that's why I really enjoyed Dr. Cox's class on that aspect. And I made use of that. First, I didn't start with olive oil. I had so many different ideas that I still keep my notes. But then at the end, I decided to start this olive oil business because, as I said, I'm interested in good food. I'm a food enthusiast. I'm an author of the book Grab a Bite of Istanbul, where we collected many backstreet culinary treasures of Istanbul. So
Okay.
I worked at Coca-Cola in marketing, which is again about food. So I decided to do something related to food, and olive oil, being from Turkey, was the best decision at that point because there was a potential in the market. And um, then I started to use my idea about olive oil in all my classes in Pepperdine.
Yeah, which is excellent. So the process diverge, right, in terms of of identifying a problem, right? Diverge is like get all the ideas and all the aspects of, I guess, what problems are out there. Then you converge, so whittle down to a few problems. Go back to diverge. Now you have those few problems. Identify all the aspects of those particular problems, and then converge to bring it down to a few aspects, and then come up with potential solutions. Back to diverge. Back to right that idea of brainstorming problems, solutions, and then diving in deep, focusing in, going back wide. I wonder if that's a process you use now that you are a few years into the industry and you are now an international business in 3 countries selling premium superfood. Do you still use
I'm
that?
still using. I'm
Really?
still using all the tools. Not all the tools, maybe, but
Some of them.
definitely I'm using the creative problem solving process, which is diverge and converge, as you mentioned. I just pulled it up, one of them here in front of me. So I stated the problem like people can't easily integrate superfoods to their diet practically.
Okay.
That was my problem,
That's
and
the
then
problem.
I came up with many other problems related to it, and then I reframed it. How might I solve this? And then imagined solutions and came up with different product ideas other than olive oil
Wow.
here in front of me. And I also make use of the business canvas model a lot for many things. For example, first I used it for olive oil, but now I'm using it for Olizzi as a brand and Olizzi as a company, because there are two different things and you can come up with different problems to these different issues and also with different solutions. And they both have, the brand has different customers and the company has different customers. So I'm making use of the business model canvas a lot. On a maybe like every 3 months, I do something, I do a sketch about it.
Oh, really? And business model canvas, correct me if I'm wrong. We look at ourselves internally in terms of who are we, what is our business, our unique value proposition, and then who are our customers, and then look at how all that works into our business, right?
Yes, basically, yes. It makes it easy to see everything in one sheet so that if you, for example, marketing wise, facing a problem or thinking that you have a big problem and you cannot solve it, I feel like if I put down all the elements like problem, solution, value proposition, customer segments, and everything else like cost structures, revenue streams, it's easier to find a solution or correct something if it's wrong to see them
To
on.
see everything. Yeah.
When you see them all in one page, then it's easier to investigate and
And
find a
find it.
solution.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting. Thinking about back to the global scale of expanding into Japan, right? Where you say Japan, they really value premium food. Tell me about the process of getting into that market. Like, did you identify an outlet, reached out to that outlet, or did you have a connection there already? Did you use like Pepperdine connections, or how did you get into the Japan market? Tell us about identifying the goal and then figuring out ways to execute that goal.
Mm-hmm. For Japan, I didn't make use of my Pepperdine network, but for the USA contacts, I'm definitely making use of that. And we're getting into new outlets in Los Angeles, and I'm really making use of Pepperdine. But for Japan, first I started with attending the contests, the olive oil competitions, even before selling. And it's first I decided to prove the products before selling any products in Japan. That's why I'm only applying for the olive oil competitions in Japan for the last 3 years. And we've been receiving awards every year. So that's a good thing. If you plan to enter the market, to say that we're already winning awards from Japan, from the Japanese olive oil competitions. So you can consider my product because it's already proved in your country. It's something good, I think. That was one of the things I did. And I also make use of network groups. One of them is BNI, Business Network International. It's an American network platform, actually. And I'm a member in Turkey, and I found members in Japan and contacted them. And one of them decided to import my product and made agreements with some outlets. And now we're moving forward. And it's all about experience. We are getting to know the market. The market is getting to know Olizzi, and we are always pivoting and adapting our products for different markets. For example, in Turkey, people are used to consume not consume, but purchase olive oil in bulk, like 5 liters is the best seller in the whole market, not for my products. However, in Japan, we're talking about 100 milliliter, like this size, like very small, maybe not less than 10 portion size products in the Japanese market. So we're getting to know, and it's a long journey, and I'm so excited for all these different markets.
All right, it's a constant learning process, which sounds like you are excited to continually learn and evolve. Let me try to rehash what you just said there. It was significant. I'll use my analogy, and then I'll try to rehash what you said. My analogy is, if you want to be a part of the conversation, figure out a way to join the conversation. Don't create your own if the conversation is already happening. So what you did was, I want to be in the Japanese market, and I know that I have to have credibility. There are contests in Japan for olive oil. I'm going to go to Japan. We want to win those contests. So now we have credibility in Japan. So you established the credibility, and then you found a network, which you said BNI. Is that what you called it? BNI?
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Business Network
It's
International?
worldwide. It's
Worldwide,
worldwide.
right?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Right.
It's
So,
everywhere.
right. So established credibility. Then you plugged into the network, and then use that network and the credibility to be able to get into an outlet out in Japan. I think that's an excellent way. Oh, and from that point, now you are understanding how people in Japan use the product, as you mentioned, from selling big bulk products at home in Turkey to Japan. They use the smaller products, just they use it for so many portions, and then they're on to the next. I think that's an excellent approach and strategic approach to doing things.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention, I'm reading so many books about Japanese culture and people. Because I couldn't travel due to COVID. I was trying to attend the fairs and expos, but they all got canceled. And I couldn't go. I have never been to Japan, but I'm really working a lot to understand the culture and people and their consumption behaviors. I already lived in the US I'm from Turkey, so I'm familiar with both Europe and Middle East and USA, American culture, but I have no idea. I had no idea about Japan. So I started to read so many books. And when I'm sending emails, I'm always very careful because all different cultures, even if you're talking about the same situation, the reactions can be different. So I want to make sure that I understand my client and my client understands me. And that's why those documentaries and books are very helpful. And I still couldn't go to Japan. I'm really looking forward to meet my partners.
Yeah, that's excellent. The study necessary, right? It's not just starting a business and hoping things sell. There's the work that you have to do that's necessary
Yeah.
to be successful, which I believe is excellent. When you think about the MBA, I mean, we have talked about how Dr. Cox's class helped you to understand the process of finding a problem and finding a solution for the problem, and then to continue to evolve with your solution. The MBA process. Tell me how. What else in the process of your experience at Pepperdine Graziadio has helped you in terms of how you operate now as a business owner? And you did mention that business model canvas, which I think is an excellent thing.
Yeah, tools definitely helped me a lot, but I think the perspective and the encouragement given to me was very valuable. That's part of the American culture, probably, that everyone is supportive. And if you're in an MBA class, in a very good university like Pepperdine, then the encouragement is much higher because you already have a good background and you have some idea in your mind, and everyone is there to help you with the network, with the professors, with your classmates, with the alumni. I connected many people, and with the professional development office, the career office, that they're all there to support you. So it was very good to feel that support behind me, and I didn't even think of not doing this, not pursuing my idea. I finished school, came back to Turkey, and just started doing it. It was not easy, of course, especially the first year when you don't have anything. You're just starting off. It was hard, but I knew that I was gonna make it because I proved this to a very small group of people, and they supported the idea from the classes. I even received some help while finding the name because the first name of the brand, because first the name of the brand was different. It was phonetically closer to a Turkish word, and I discovered that my classmates were not able to pronounce it, and they were just trying to avoid pronouncing it.
Yeah,
And I said, no, this cannot happen. This product is gonna sell in the USA, so US people should be able to pronounce it. So I'm changing it, and I started thinking of names, and it took me 2 3 months. I came up with 1,000 names, made a short list, sent a survey to my classmates, and they all picked their favorites, and Olizzi was one of them.
right,
And that's
right.
how I came up with the name. So even the name actually, I received support.
Yeah, right. Using the support and using the divergent converge process, right? This even coming up with a name, which is excellent. You mentioned that you used once you came up with the business, every class you took from that point, you focused on the business, right? In terms of Pepperdine, right?
Yeah, I had so many ideas, but after the end of the second entrepreneurship class with Cox, I think I came up with olive oil.
Which is excellent, right? So I asked that question that once you came up with the business that you focused on that for the rest of your time working on your MBA, because I know you have a relationship with Dr. Samuel Seaman, and I wonder in his class, right? He has this decision making, right? Making life decisions, but understanding how to approach intelligence with decisions that aren't just on a whim, but actually the process of weighing decisions and weighting decisions and those types of things. So I wonder if information from that class has helped you too in terms of making decisions on whether or not to make a product, buy a product, go to a market, all those kind of things.
Yep. Talking about Dr. Seaman, I love his classes and I love mathematics. It has been my favorite class forever. And mathematics is everywhere, as you said, weighted averages. So I can make these divergent converge things, come up with a problem, find a solution, and decide to launch a product, which is great. But then I need to calculate the cost of it. And if I'm giving up the opportunity to launch another product that's gonna make me more profit, or if it's gonna avoid me from going to a holiday that I've been looking for, then I need to consider these three options and make a decision depending on my feelings and the budget and whatever else you can think of. So it's every idea, every decision, even to put the glass here or there, is a decision in our lives. And I think Siemens class was very helpful for that, especially for people who are not very familiar with mathematics, because mathematics is everywhere. I mean, there's opportunity in every decision you may make.
Which I think is excellent. I'll ask this last question and then we'll wrap. It's specifically about being an entrepreneur, which a lot of people either want to be entrepreneurs or a lot of people want to have the entrepreneur mindset, right? And I wonder, you who have done it for a little while now internationally, what is your advice for someone who either wants to be an entrepreneur or who wants to have the entrepreneur mindset in how they operate throughout their lives?
Yeah. I've been through both. I worked at Coca-Cola for 5 years in marketing. I worked as a product manager. And when I think of my years in Coke, I was acting like an entrepreneur because I was owning my job and I had my clients, I had my brands, and I had my budget. Just like I do it with Olizzi right now. It's not that different. I'm still doing marketing in Olizzi just like I did. And apart from marketing, I have some other things to deal with, like accounting and so on. But when it comes to having an entrepreneurship mindset, I think it's all about owning the job. If you're owning the job, if you are acting as if that's your business, then you can have the entrepreneurship mindset. Uh, but again, as I said, I think you should also have the responsibility of the budget of the brand or client, whatever. But you should feel that on your shoulders so that you will be careful to carry it properly. And I think it's a very good question because nowadays I see that people working in corporate businesses, they don't feel like they belong there. And I think it's because of not feeling, um, I think it's because of the lack of ownership, the feeling of ownership to their job. And yeah, you need to have some more responsibility and take some risks. Of course, it's not going to be the same as owning your own job because then you have the whole risk. But still, working in a corporate company and having partial risks or no risks and still having the entrepreneurship mindset is also very valuable.
Yeah, which is excellent. This has been an excellent conversation, Ece. I really appreciate you joining us on the Business of Creativity podcast. Yes, ma'am. That was Ece Er. She is the founder of Olizzi Olive Oil Company, and she's a 2018 graduate of Graziadio's full-time MBA program. And of course, this is Ty Brown with the Business of Creativity podcast, the unofficial podcast of the Graziadio Business School. And keep in mind, the role of a leader is to create and maintain an environment that people want to be a part of. And as always, be better tomorrow than you are today.